This week on the Digital Coffee, LinkedIn Analytics gets some new features, lead forms on Meta get an upgrade and it's pretty cool, plus dress to impress with your Bitmoji. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. I am an ROI consultant, trainer, and mentor. What does that mean? That means that I help businesses just like yours get more profit from the time, the energy, and the money that they spend on their online marketing. I am grabbing my mug and flying it around because I dream of it one day being full of coffee, but it's not, because I can't drink coffee during the show because I'm hyper enough already. But if you are watching, I can see we've got Hannah watching. Let me know what's in your mug this morning. I would love to know. Just before we get started, I want to tell you about something brand new that I have, which is some training on the new Google Analytics 4. You may be aware that Google is transitioning between its traditional analytics, which we would have called Universal Analytics, to Google Analytics 4. By July of next year, it is getting rid of the old analytics. So if you want to know how the new analytics works, what you need to look at, if you want to learn how to set up reports, I am offering one-to-one customized training. If you want to find out more about that, you can scan this QR code that will give you all the details. But enough about me. Good morning to the viewers on LinkedIn. So I can see we've got Hannah, who is drinking coffee, always coffee. It's one of my favorite coffees of the week is the one that I have after this show. Good morning. Hello. It is very frosty this morning, Simon. I'm looking out the window and it's almost like a winter wonderland in front of me. I can't see that far into the distance, but my garden is covered in frost. I was just looking at the path that is covered in frost. Oh, and there's Louise over on LinkedIn. Good morning, Louise. Great to see you. You've already had your coffee. You're drinking water at the moment. You've already had your coffee. Envy is something I have, Jessica. Envy is something that I have. Just in from the dog walk and nearly went over on the road outside the house. Black ice. At the moment, I would say here in Athy, we've got white ice because it hasn't melted yet to go black. But yes, very slippery out there. Be careful, people. More coffee later after lunch. I only have one cup of coffee a day, but thinking I might go down to the coffee shop that does the best coffee in the world and get a second cup today just to treat myself because it's Friday, you know? Okay, enough of my rambling. You're here to watch the news, aren't you? I better talk about that, right?
Hello, this is Simon Hodgkins and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, you're probably aware that for me, I think analytics is really important. I don't just think analytics is really important. I know analytics is really important because when you spend your time or some of your time analyzing what you're doing online, that can really lead you in the right direction of the sort of things that your customers want, the things that are working, the things that aren't working. It can save you a bunch of time and it can help you understand your marketing better. Now, this isn't an advert for my analytics course at all. No, I'm talking about a new feature. Well, not a new feature, some new features that LinkedIn is adding to creator analytics. So these are analytics on your profile. You will need to switch to a creator account, as far as I'm aware, to see these updates. And sadly, I don't have them yet, but it is exciting. Already they are showing us more information on our profiles than they used to, but now you are going to be able to see analytics for individual posts, for example. So it's going to point out your top posts, and you'll be able to see that, I think, by impressions and engagement. Now, this for me is big because I do this manually. Once a week I sit down and I go through all my posts and manually log this stuff. So it's really nice that it's going to be there right in front of me. They're also going to be adding more information about your audience. So at the moment you can see who you've reached with your post. You can see your basic LinkedIn demographics that they think they're called psychographics, like the size of the company they work in, the industry they work in, that sort of thing. But you're actually going to get this information on your audience, your followers. And it seems really strange to me that this hasn't been there before. You're going to be able to monitor your follower growth within here. Now, I'm excited about this. I think this is great because it answers the questions that you as a marketer need to know the answers to. So for example, it's great to have loads of followers, but are they right for your business, or is it just another bunch of people who are like you spying on you? You know, are they living in the right location? Are they the right size of business? And actually, if you find out all your followers are a different size of business to the one that you are trying to target, maybe you want to find a product that will work for that size of audience. It can also tell you, you know, content wise, what content is working best for you, what is resonating with your audience. I cannot wait to get these. I can see we've got a comment here from Louise, who is a LinkedIn expert. The dreaded rollout. So I'm guessing you don't have it yet, Louise. Could this be? I mean, seriously, they should give it to me, right? If they look at my content, if their robots look at my content, they know I'm into analytics. It would benefit them, right? To give it to me, but I'm sure I'll be waiting forever. Still waiting for scheduled post, by the way, LinkedIn, while you're at it. I can see, Simon saying that audience drill down information will be useful. So there is some stuff you can already see. I was looking through my analytics, so I can see a breakdown of like people who've seen my posts, a rough breakdown, but more would be good. My most viewed followers come from Upwork and Fiverr. Interesting. You didn't know you had premium analytics. I'd love to know what the difference is. Now, if you are on LinkedIn and you have it, what's the difference between premium analytics and analytics? There's an idea. There's a question. Right.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Jeremiah J-Man Monero with J-Man Speaks from New York, and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Make it a great day.
Now, since Apple's privacy update last year, and the fact that we are moving into a cookieless world. So let's not just talk about Facebook's iOS update that has been withholding personal data from people to Facebook, which means basically Facebook used to know what you did on the internet. It used to follow you around the internet and find your preferences, and it used to do a whole lot of stuff that this iOS update gave people the choice whether they wanted other apps like Facebook / Meta to do. And that's kind of screwed up Meta ads a little bit. They're not as effective as they used to be because Meta knows less about its audience, so they are less effective. And in fact, if you were running ads that were driving people to your website, again, you weren't able to retarget everyone who visited your website, particularly if they were using an iOS device. The chances were they were saying, please don't track me. So that meant retargeting was becoming more difficult. But there is a solution. If you use the inbuilt Meta / Facebook ad tools, you are still able to do retargeting. So instead of sending people to a landing page on your website, you can use something called an instant experience, which is like building a landing page basically within Meta itself. Or instead of sending people to a form on your website to get them to fill it in, you could use their lead forms product, which lives on Facebook and is very quick for people to fill in. What is the advantage of this? Well, you can retarget those people. You can retarget people who've engaged with your instant experience, who've engaged with your lead form, even if they haven't finished filling it out. So it's something that you'll see a lot more advertisers are using. Now it's got an upgrade. According to John Loomer in his latest blog, there is so much cool stuff you can do with the new lead forms if you have access to it. So firstly, it's going to choose your color scheme. When you upload an image for your ad, it's going to take colors from that image and it's going to design a color scheme for your form around that. Unfortunately, we can't customize it. That would be nice. Maybe that's going to be the next step. It is going to be based on the image that you use. So instantly it's going to look on brand all the way through. Secondly, you're going to be able to add a whole lot of extra information. So things like the benefits of your product, testimonials. In fact, it is almost like building out a landing page with a form in it. So the nice thing about this is, number one, I think it's going to not attract more leads from a lead form. It might even attract slightly less. But what it's going to do is it's going to get you better quality leads because you have given people all the information they need in order to make the decision if they want to sign up for your thing or not. The testimonials and all that will mean that people will actually know what it is they're signing up for. So you may get less leads. It might be a little bit more expensive, but you will get better quality leads. So I'm really excited about this update. The downside, of course, of doing all this within Facebook is that you can't retarget those people off Facebook. You have to continue to use meta ads to retarget those people and advertise to them. You can't, for example, use a Google ad to collect the audience like you would on your website and retarget people because it's not happening on your website. But it is a really clever workaround for the cookieless future. So I can see more features like this being rolled out. And so far, I'm impressed with this. I might even give it a go in the new year. I can see I have just found it, so I'll let you know. This is Louise looking at her LinkedIn premium analytics. I'd be really interested to see what's there. Rollout of features needs to be much more Europe focused, typically US and the UK first. Other countries are left waiting. It's very true. Very often we're the last to get it. Ireland did actually, though. Ireland did get a long time ago reactions on Facebook before everyone else, so we can feel special for that. Would love to see much more beta testing outside of the US as well. Yes, it would be nice, but I suppose all these companies are very US focused, apart from TikTok. But that's a whole other story, isn't it?
Hi, I'm Carol Phillips from Laguna Beach, California, and I'm here watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Hi!
On Instagram, it's important that you reach beyond your existing audience. It's great that you reach, I keep banging my microphone, I do apologize. It is important that you reach your existing audience. Of course, you want the people who've decided to follow, decided to sign up. It's great, but if you want to keep growing your followers, you need to reach beyond that. And of course, one of the ways that we can do that is with Reels. Also, your stuff can get recommended to other users. Now, this is something I know lots of people complain about, the fact that they're seeing so many recommended posts on Instagram. Well, as a business, forget about that. That's actually good for us. If we can get our posts recommended into other people's feeds, that is good news. And you can see in your Instagram analytics, how far beyond your existing audience your posts are reaching. I think that's a really great feature. But what if you discover that your reels and your images and all your posts on Instagram are reaching nobody but your existing audience? Is there a problem? Are you being shadow banned? Well, Instagram have just added a new section in your account settings that will be able to tell you if particular posts that you've put up are not being recommended because you have done something wrong. It is going to appear in your settings menu. I think I've clicked the right thing. Yes, it's going to be in your settings menu. So if you go into your settings, account settings, and I'm going to need to look at my notes to remember the last bit. Account settings. I've gone way past it now. Just talk amongst yourselves. So if you go to settings, settings, accounts, and then account settings, you'll be able to see, firstly, if you've got any posts that aren't being recommended. Secondly, have you got any, and why those posts aren't being recommended, what you've done wrong, which was the first from Instagram. They just generally tell you you're breaking community guidelines without telling you. And you'll also be able to appeal that decision. So if you are finding that your posts aren't reaching anyone, this could tell you exactly why. And actually, I know a lot of businesses do actually do some bizarre and weird things that maybe they don't realize are spammy. So I think this could be really good, and it could be a good way for you to take down the offending posts and make sure the quality of your account stays good. I'm just reading about that. It will be so interesting to see how it works. It will be. So I went in and there were no violations, but I can't be telling if that's the old version or the new version, because you could see if you had any strikes against you previously. It's weird. It'll be brilliant to work with clients that want to grow their following. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, at the moment, Reels will reach extensively beyond your existing audience. If your Reels aren't, there is something wrong there. But other types of posts reaching beyond there, stories very rarely will, but your regular posts reaching beyond your existing audience could be a really good way to grow your audience. I think it's going to be exciting into the future. Sorry, looking at my buttons there, I've got a button to press.
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching The Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
If you could reach people all over the world, no matter what language they spoke, with your video content, that could be a fantastic way to grow your audience, couldn't it? That would be fantastic. And you know what? As a business, if you've got people in your organization who speak different languages and are able to facilitate customers who speak those languages, that would mean that you could turn that audience into customers. Well, soon on YouTube, you might be able to do all that, because YouTube are taking a leaf out of Meta's book. Remember, Meta already do this. Do what, Amanda? What am I talking about? Auto-dubbing you into another language. So what's going to happen? It's a tool. It is called, she consults her notes. It is really going to tell me what it's called in a minute. Aloud, A-L-O-U-D. This new tool will be free to use. You can sign up now for early access. And what it will do is it will transcribe your videos or translate your videos, overdub them into the language of the person who is watching the video, which is great and also weird. I really want to see me in a foreign language for some bizarre reason. The examples they show on their video, which I'll post as a link below if you are watching on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, is pretty impressive. It looks pretty good. I'm just wondering how close to your original voice this will get. I'm excited about this. I can see Hannah's talking about her favourite podcast, but now I need to look. I wonder what your favourite podcast is. Did I mention a podcast? You'll have to tell me, Hannah. You have to let me know.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars, and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Twitter is removing the ability to create Twitter moments. What's a Twitter moment? You may well ask, what is a Twitter moment? But that's the thing, isn't it? There's all these features, these hidden features on social networks that never really get used. And I'm guessing that's the reason that Twitter is depreciating this particular one. I mean, when Twitter Moments first came out, there was a tiny little fanfare, titchy little fanfare. It was a number of years ago. And what they actually do is they give you can collate tweets together around a specific topic, or maybe a Twitter chat. You can bring in the best responses and bring them together into one easy to read interface. It was pretty cool. You can bring in videos and images. Any that I looked at were great. I know my friend Tim Lewis was a big fan of using these. But the problem is nobody else really used them. I think it might have just been Tim. Nobody else really used them. Or, if you saw one, you were never quite sure what it was. So Twitter are getting rid of it. I'm guessing they don't really have the staff to keep things on like that, do they? Less said about that, the better. So goodbye to Twitter Moments, but hopefully we're going to see something new and improved that might help us do the same thing in the future. There you go. Monday morning marketing. Now I know what you're talking about, because that was Esther and Melanie from the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast, and somebody who might be familiar to all of you, maybe on that show very soon. So keep listening to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. I'm all discombobulated about which button to press now.
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the FOMO Creator, and you have been watching The Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
One way that we as human beings like to communicate or represent ourselves is by what we wear. And I think a lot of the time, even people who say they don't care about what they wear, that is part of their image as well. It's what defines us. We may have a style, we may not, but what we choose to wear every day does say something about us. So it's no surprise then that we may want to do the same in the virtual world. The last time I went in and played with my Bitmoji on Snapchat, I noticed there were a lot more clothing options than there used to be. And some of them were branded clothing options, which was cool or not cool, depending where you stand on that. But now, for the first time ever, you are actually going to be able to purchase clothes on Snapchat for your Bitmoji character. They have gone into partnership with Adidas. You will have to buy tokens on Snapchat, and with those tokens you will be able to buy clothing for your Bitmoji. Now, I know a lot of you are already going, that's insane, Amanda, why would you want to do that? But I think if we're going to have these online versions of ourselves into the future, we are going to want to dress them to represent ourselves as well. I know that I have a virtual avatar in the virtual reality world, and there was very limited choice of clothing. I do like what I'm dressed in, but anyone else in the room could dress in exactly the same clothes and we'd kind of look identical. So I do like the idea of shopping for this. Don't think I'd be investing in my Bitmoji because I don't use Snapchat enough, but maybe in the future when I am using a virtual version of myself more, buying clothes like this is going to be a thing. Good morning, Deirdre. Great to see you here. I thought I'd missed you. You were listening via the phone app, but now you're on desktop, so you can comment who you're drinking hot chocolate. I wouldn't mind. It's one of those mornings, isn't it? When you see a frost. Yeah, like the first thing you want is a hot chocolate, maybe with some marshmallows. Oh, maybe after I've been to the gym, I'd be allowed a hot chocolate. That sounds like a really cool thing to have.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Red Bow, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you are an avid Instagram user for your business, and if you get a lot of direct messages, it can be confusing to manage those direct messages because you might have some from customers, you might have some just people inquiring about stuff, and you might get into long conversations. There might be existing customers, and you might not, when you go back to that conversation, to go and maybe you've researched something for a customer, you may have forgotten what customer it was that you were talking to or what stage of the buying cycle they are in. So this label system that Instagram are testing could really help with that. Now, these are going to be self-assigned labels. You'll be able to go into a direct message and you will be able to label them as flagged, as booked, as ordered, as paid, as shipped, which means when you go back into your direct messages, you'll be able to filter and see people at the particular stage of the buying process they're in, so that you don't have to scroll through your whole message to try and work out what it is that you were talking to that person about. It also means that if that person messages you again and say, hey, did you ship that yet? You're able to say, yes, I did. I think this could be really useful for small businesses, particularly at this time of year, although I'm not sure it's going to hit everyone in time for this time of year who are managing multiple orders through their Instagram accounts. I think this could only be a good thing. Hey, Roy, I can see Roy's watching over on Facebook. It's got not many people watch on Facebook these days, so I'm really happy to see you here. Definite hot lemon and honey morning. Have a good day. And to you too, Roy. But that's it. That's all the news for this week. In fact, next week's show, take my glasses off. Next week's show is the special Christmas predictions for 2023 show, where we will look at what may happen in the world of digital marketing in 2023. And I'll also look at what I said was going to happen in 2022 and see if it actually did. So thank you for watching. Do tune into that very special show. Santa may even make an appearance next week. Same bat time. I'm forgetting my whole slogan thing now. Same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.